we're back. I'm Linda Gassenheimer, and we're talking about my favorite kitchen gadget gifts. All the gadgets we've mentioned here and will be mentioning, they're listed on my website with photos and prices. So you go to dinnerinminutes.com and scroll to Linda's
It's like the radio home shopping network.
There you go. Although you can't shop on my, you can just see where you can buy it.
By the way, we also want to thank those listeners who are pledging right now. We really appreciate your support of Topical Currents and the regional and local programming.
We do indeed. Thank you so much for your support.
Especially for our program here on Food News and Views.
We might need it.
Well, let's go to Bonnie. I left you in suspense. Bonnie, in front of you.
Yes.
It's some bread.
A dangerous implement.
Yes, and a knife, and it's a serrated knife. And it's called a double-edged bread knife. So go ahead and cut the bread. And by the way, just to let you know, if you cut bread or pastries, go ahead, cut. With a straight-edged knife, it'll dull the knife. So that's why you use a serrated knife.
And smush the bread or whatever you're
It
cutting.
cut it almost like it was going through butter, not bread.
Exactly.
But what does that mean, double-edged? It only has one serrated edge.
Okay, but inside where you can't see it is another set of serrated blades.
Oh.
And it just cuts beautifully. As you said, you don't smush the bread, and it leaves, if it's a real crusty bread, it's fewer crumbs. And I just love this. And you know what I love it for? Like you have this hard melon, and you want to cut through a hard melon. It's really difficult. Slices right through.
What about something just like tomatoes? Sometimes I find tomato skin too tough. Can you use this serrated?
Absolutely perfect.
Can I have it?
No.
Okay.
Can I have it?
Okay, it's $110. It's made by Wursthoff.
I want it.
It's a great double-edged knife. Okay, all right. So let's say you have knives and they're not sharp.
Yes.
I have a cute little sharpener here, and I'm sorry. How would you describe this? It's about the size of a
hairbrush.
There you go.
It almost looks like a lint brush.
Okay, lint brush. And you don't need electricity for this. It's called a Chef's Choice Pronto Pro, and it's great. The most dangerous thing in the kitchen to me is a dull knife. It'll slip and slide and really hurt you.
My knife's dull just by sitting there. I don't know they're always dull.
Because every time you use a knife, you should draw it through the honing section. Every time, because when you use a knife, the little prongs get out of kilt. So you just draw it a few times, back and forth, through this handy little gadget, and it's great. I use it all the time, and it's about $50. It's Chef's Choice.
Oh, I didn't think it was that much.
We had the owner that on.
Right, there's an electric one, the professional one that I use all the time.
It's like $120 or something.
Now, Linda, you never sharpen a serrated knife, do you?
Oh, yes.
Yes, you can. You can sharpen it with the professional, the electric one. Yes.
You wouldn't want to do it on a whetstone or something like that, though.
No, you have to know. What I like about it keeps your knife at the correct angle. So you're not dulling your knife instead of sharpening them. They have to be at the right angle.
Right.
You don't have to think about it with this. Okay, let's go on. Grater. Okay. I've had several microplane graters on. This is kind of like a paddle, a little paddle. And what I like about the new ones is it has a plastic cover.
So it'll hold what you're grating.
Right, because I don't know about you, but when I'm grating cheese, it goes all over the counter.
Goes all over.
Right. Okay. Not only does it hold the cheese, but it has a measure, so you know exactly if it's 1 cup or 2 cups or whatever that you've grated. So I like this one.
That'd be good for ginger, too, I suppose.
What did you call it? What kind of grater?
Microplane grater.
Microplane. What does that mean?
Well, that's the manufacturer.
Oh,
that's
okay.
People who make it. And it goes in the dishwasher because that cheese gets stuck along the little holes and you can't get them clean without. It's very difficult. So I really like this one. It's about $17. Great little gift for someone.
Good.
All right. Now, you're going to chop herbs. And I have here an herb chopper. It's a one-handed herb chopper. So Bonnie, describe what it looks like.
It's a rounded triangle?
It looks like, it looks a little like a horseshoe. And one of the edges is sharp. And what a great way to chop herbs.
Right. And one hand, you just roll it back and forth. And the blade is about a half circle. And the rest is just a silicone handle to hold. So that's an herb chopper, and it's only about $10, and it's really colorful, and I think would be a great little stocking stuffer.
And where do you get that?
It looks very ergonomic, too.
Yes.
Yeah, where do you get that?
Well, at any of the major stores, and if you go to dinnerinminutes.com, ittle have all of the information there.
Of course.
All right. Sauces and roasting. Let's say you're going to roast something for during the holidays, and you want to make a sauce, and you have that wonderful gravy in your pan. It's got a lot of fat in it. So I have a new fat separator here. And, you know, the fat separators that you have a spout at the bottom, and you kind of pour carefully, and all the fat keeps in the... But if you pour too fast, it pours out, I found, or some of the fat gets in the spout. This is one of those things that, why didn't I think of this kind of thing? So it looks like it's it's like a beaker, like a measuring cup, a big measuring cup. And at the bottom is a little hole. And there's a handle. On the handle is a...
Oh, so it opens it up.
Right.
Right.
It's ingenious.
So you pour... And what I like is at the top is like a sieve.
It is.
So you pour your sauce or your gravy into this. The bits and pieces of meat and have kept back. And you wait a second, and the fat goes to the top. What do? You pull on it, and out of the hole at the bottom, the sauce falls out, spills out, and then the fat, when it gets to the fat, you close it up and you're done. So that's a new kind of...
That is
It's
great.
called Easy Release Grease Separator. And it has a measuring cup, and it's only about $16. And I say about because if you go on the internet, you'll find various prices. So... Okay, you're cooking your roast and you need to baste it. And I'm sure most of us probably have a bulb baster.
Right.
Okay. What I like about this one is because you baste it, then you put it on your counter, you get grease all over your counter and all of that. This stands up because the bulb has a flat edge.
Oh.
So
I
it stands
never
up
thought of
on the
that.
counter.
No, yeah, I
Right.
didn't notice that even.
Exactly. And I like this because it comes with a brush inside so that you can actually wash it and get all the gook out of the inside of the bulb baster.
How do you manipulate the brush?
Well, you just open it up and you take the brush out.
I see,
and
I
you go
see.
like this and you wash
But when
the-
you use it, you don't have the brush.
No,
in
you
it,
don't
of
have the
course.
brush
No,
in it. I
no.
just store it that
Okay,
way.
okay.
I just store it like that, and in it goes, and that's your bulb baster.